It's only another episode of that four-door Lincoln Green left-hand drive Range Rover. Enjoy it! So if you fancy contacting me, then it's churchhouseclassics, and that's all one word, @gmail.com. Only one of me. Might take me a couple of days or so to get back to you. Please be patient. If you fancy supporting the channel or buying me a pint, then there's a PayPal link scrolling down here. Enjoy the feature. I need a screwdriver. Oh, that will do. Let's remove the solenoid from the backing. Again, just get another picture just in case. I'll do that, just so I know which way round this panel goes, because it's got a beveled edge on it. Right, now, what we've then got is this casing, which looks like it should come apart. So there's a rubber chappy over the end here. And that goes all the way up to the plunger. These might just be glued together. Made in West Germany. Oh yeah. Right, so this is what it looks like on the inside. Nice little plunger on there. So the idea is, I guess, that it runs up and over this skate somehow. I don't know. It looks like that needs to go on to there. And as the motor operates, it winds the gearing, which then moves the shuttle backwards and forwards. Now what actually then connects the shuttle, looks like it's that. It needs to go that way round, so that goes like that. So that goes in there, that goes in there. No, it can't go in like that, because otherwise it's got to go that way round. Whatever happens, I mean, that now, I don't know, what's probably happened here is that has moved off there, I'm guessing. I don't know if you can see that. If I show you one that works the way I expect it to work, click, 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 click. That other one was wobbling around like a dick in a bucket. So what we're going to do, I think, is just test this on the car, make sure it extends and doesn't extend, and then I'm just going to pop this one on. I will figure out how this works later on. They are very much glued together. So when you're taking it apart, there are posts where the screw holes go through, okay, and on the opposite side, and then it's glued around the edge. So they're not particularly accessible. But we'll see if we can fix that. I doubt we will be able to. I suspect it's probably, there is a broken gear in there somewhere. Right, let's go back with this one. Let's all batteries on. The keys. Oh. Right, should be open. Let's connect this up. Oh, could we do this one-handed? Probably. So there's the connector down there. This will be an utterly useless piece of fucking footage, this will, Richard. Right, connector is on. And now what we're really looking at is to see if the plunger extends or not. No, it doesn't. So that doesn't work electrically. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, we've got a few of these now. That was no good because that's for I think that's for the tailgate release. It's only got 2 plugs on it. This one's got more plugs on it. Oh, hang on a second, that's only got 2 plugs, 2 pins on it as well. Right, so what we probably need to do is to see, it's going to be one of these, isn't it? Let's try that one. Does the plunger work? Yes, the plunger works. It looks like there's different fucking connectors depending on whereabouts you are. This one's only got 2 pins on it, you see. Right. As has, that one's got 5 pins on it. This one's got 2 pins on it. That one's got 5 pins on it. Now, if I can get to the plunger. Oh, come on. Oh. Right, this one at least works, but it's not sucking in and going out. Oh, it is now. That's working. That's how I'd expect it to work. Trouble, you do it too many times and then the fucking central locking packs up on you. Right, so it looks like there are 2 different types of solenoid. The one with the 5 wires is to the front, the one with the 2 wires is to the back. Figure? Figure. Right, okay, let's go and mount this onto the car. Just need to straighten out that mounting plate and just check that it is the right orientation. Let's just disconnect the battery as well while we're here. They can go down there. So I can start shouting later on about where they've all gone. Oh, dear. Yes, and if I look at this one's got 2 wires on it. Right. Now, how did this all go together? I need to go back to my photographs, don't I? Right, okay, you stand there and keep out of the way. Right, now, in order to get this in, you've got to put it inside the door first and foremost. Once it's inside the door, then you can rotate it such that you can get the plunger on the end of the hook that's dangling down, which is your primary here. I think that's gone on. No. They are a bastard to get on. I don't know why they didn't just give us a little bit more access here in order to do it. But then I guess they wouldn't have been able to charge 4 hours from a Range Rover mechanic in order to put this bastard in. Come on, in you go. Right, that's in. No, it's not. It's fucking out again. There, it's in now. Right, okie doke. So we need then to mount the 4 screws, put this back into place. It's a bit bent really, isn't it? But it sort of lines up. And then we'll see if it works. Well, we will see. We'll mount this in the midpoint on the slots. And then we're going to plug it in, connect the battery up, see if the bastard works. It wants to. And then we can re-zip, tie the cable onto the door shell. You'll notice this door shell's had a bit of aftermarket gibbonry. There should be a piece of metal that goes down there like that, but someone's obviously hacked it out here to put a speaker in. The door cards don't have speaker holes in them, so I'm assuming it was a long time ago. There's also a hole there. It's an unusual place to have a hole. I can feel on the other side where it's got filler gone through. It's like almost like someone's drilled a hole through the door for some reason. Right. Okay, now unlock, lock. It's the other way around, Richard. Now that's plugged back together again. Let's go and get battery back on. Door needs to close. You can come up here. Clank, 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 clank. And, oh, hallelujah. Did that work? It did. Closed. Locked. Oh, I didn't just chuck the keys in there. No, I didn't. That's the sort of stupid thing that happens in a workshop. Is you've got the key in the car and you've locked it and then you close the door. And you think, oh, you knob. Right, that's worked. So we can put this door shell back together now. I don't think there's anything else in here needs to happen. I think we are there because there's no speaker in the back door. I'm going to zip tie the cables back on. That big round connector down there, that big bastard there, that's the window switch, which is actually on the door card itself. Yeah, let's pop it back together. Right, a few new first three clips, these bastards, on the back of the door card, and a few new plungers on the card. So the plungers are HAU 1136L. The fir trees are MWC 3129. Done those two. A couple of screws to hold the pull cup in. Now these are, don't need to buy a Land Rover. You just go to one of your automotive fixing suppliers and buy number 10 by 1 inch Posi CSK screws. Countersunk. These. Now these came in stainless. I don't generally use stainless because they're absolutely useless at sticking to my magnetic screwdriver, but in this particular case they work beautifully. These screws are exactly the same as the screws that should hold the tread plates down. Now, does it work? It fucking does. You beauty. I'll do that. Right, job done. Oh, the other thing I didn't check, of course, was the window switch worked. So, ignition, seal the column surround is off at the moment because it's all absolutely smashed to pieces. I think it's a bit of heat damage from its previous life, and also one door done. Beautiful. And we have the right hand rear door handle. Beautiful. Panel back on the inside. Window winds up and down. Central locking works. And it shuts. There's a box in the way. Right. So next I am going to, you can see that the right hand seat is out. I'm just about to make some repairs down here, get rid of all this excess wiring. There's loads of it. And I thought, oh, we're going to sort this out because this is the ECU connector. As you can see, it's all hanging apart. And then, what the fuck is that? Oh my God. I don't know what it does, but I'm pretty sure we can improve on that. That is horrific. What I really need to do here, though, is to get the loom out from here so that it's kind of, because I don't really want to be soldering with that much sort of space. So it does mean that the loom needs to come out, and then I can see what's going on there. That is ludicrous. Someone's had a struggle there, haven't they? Not quite sure what they've been doing, though. Right, taking all the sound deadening off the floor. It's actually all in pretty good order. So really we have got the very, very, very earliest stages of surface rust all the way down the transmission tunnel side. Here, almost exactly the same as it is on the driver's side, on the left hand side. Bear in mind it's a left hand drive car. We've got quite heavy pitting along this edge here. So I'm going to get in here with the zip wheel. I don't think we need to replace the entire thing. I think the overlap comes to about here. And it wasn't spot welded at the top edge anyway. In fact, there's a spot weld there. So we're a good 1/2 inch in before you get to any spot weld. So I really need to clean up underneath and see if that's strong enough. If it is going to be strong enough, i.e. it's just an overlap that was never welded anyway, then I won't bother doing anything with it. I've then been unpicking a world of little bits of extra wire that were in here for one reason or another. Speaker wire that went to the bottom speaker down here. Top speaker is still in place. There's a black wire here. I haven't quite figured out what it does yet. I'm going to be pulling all of that apart. All of the ECU loom at the moment is thrown over the top, over to the other side. Looking at the holes on the floor, well, there's a spoiler for you. Looking at the holes on the floor, that's not all rust, by the way, that's mainly under seal. And there is a hole on this leading edge, just here. And then you've got the bigger hole further back. Now, what we have got on here is an incredible amount of sealant all the way over this thing that is just falling off. So here, look at that. That's a really clean surface there, apart from very, very, very light dusting of surface rust. But, I mean, it might seem trivial, but this is a right pain in the arse, because pretty much the whole of the underbody, I'm just able to peel the sealant off it. I don't know what to do, because we need to preserve it, really, don't we? I think we'll start with the arches and work from there, but it may well need to go to one of these specialist underbody preparation kind of companies, and they can strip everything off and start again. My job here, I think, really is to replace this. Right, just time to stop fucking around with it, Richard. So, as you can see, I've chopped along this edge here. My torch is going flat. Look at that. Do we want flickery torch or flat torch? Right. I've cut along that leading edge, so this is useless, Richard. Flickering torch it is. Charge that up. Right. If I keep the camera still, it doesn't flicker. If you stand up, though, it'd be nice. And we stop flickering. Right. So this edge here, that edge there, that should be the forward edge of the sill. And you can see it's rotted back to about here. This is not a problem. So what I'm going to do is cut just inside this to about here, rebuild the leading edge of the sill, take that flange for now off the edge there, and then weld up to the edge of the footwell up there. And there we are, straightened. So that edge is the inside of the bulkhead. This is where the sill joins on, that's where the wheel arch is. And the more I was going at it, the more tatty it was getting. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, just chop it out. Had enough of it. So it's out. It is indeed out. Make up a pattern next. Make up a pattern. A pattern. And then discuss with the customer what we're going to do about the underside of this car. I don't want to go underneath this thing and take all of the under seal off it, but it kind of needs that. If I go under here, wherever I go on the underside, and there's a classic example there, if I take this off, underneath all of this, it's just surface rust. Wherever I go, that probably won't be. Oh no, it is. Look at that, surface rust. And this stuff just comes off. It's falling off. It's not up there. I have been using the blowgun on it, just to get some of the stuff off around here where I'm going to be welding. And as you can see, I'm not quite done far enough yet. I'm going to need to take off here. I don't want this shit catching fire. But all of the usual rot spots, they're actually pretty intact. I mean, check out this inner wing up here. You can't see it. Let's get the James lights up there. Look at that. Right, that's that all welded in. A quick brush out, sweep out, and I'm going to then paint this thing front to back inside here to protect it, and then seam seal it after I've painted it. As you can see, there's a fair sized chunk of steel went in there in the end, but it's done that now. All of this shit down on the floor is mainly under seal that came off, to be honest. There's little chunks of metal in there, but on the whole, just under seal. I'm pleased I've done that. Start getting the driver's side back together again. Instrument pod is out. It's only 4 fixings on the underside. This is clearly not the one that was on the car when it was in Spain. It's a miles per hour pod rather than a kilometres per hour pod. And we look at the back of it, think, fucking hell, there's a few bulbs missing from that, aren't there? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So I don't know which ones. It looks like it is SRS. If I put that there, in fact, what we're going to do, let's find the tripod. We're going to play the where's the tripod game. Here it is, over here. Here's the tripod. Right, okay. Now you can go here, more or less like that, and I can shine the torch in the back, and we can see ABS is out, brake is out, brake pad warning is out, and traction control is out. We haven't got traction control on this, but it might have had traction control, being a 92 car. That's a disappointing number of bulbs being out, isn't it? Trailer as well. So trailer indicator, traction control, ABS, brake, and brake pad. Look what I found on the shelf. Kilometres per hour. This might have come, well, it's going to come out of either Southpaw or the Cairngorm Brown left-hand drive cars. Oh, it's got loads of bulbs in it. Oh, that's great news. Look at that. So we can rob bulbs out of here and put them in that. Because the bulbs, I doubt, are going to be cheap. So let's replace all of the bulbs that are missing, and then we're going to come back. Traction control I'm not going to worry about, because we're unlikely to be going down the traction control routes. One. Now, I don't know if these bulbs are going to work. I probably could put the power probe on just to confirm they are good. In fact, let's do that. Right, so power probe. Earth is going to go on one side, positive on the other, and if I can get a good connection, it'd be nice. What's going on with this earth cable? Because it's a little bit on the fraught side. Now that'll do. A bit more. What have I done with that bulb now? Don't I just put that bulb down over here? I did there. Right, so we've got earth and positive and bulb works. Let's try this one again. I can't believe we got 2 blown bulbs. That one works beautifully. This one works beautifully. 2 blown bulbs then. I don't know if these bulbs come out of these little holders or not. Yes, they do. Little capless bulbs. Oh. That one works now. Just taking it out of the cap, putting it back in again. Take it out, push it back in. And we've got 4 working bulbs. Great! Okay, here we go. Positive connected, negative connected. I know they're the wrong way around. Already discussed that, folks. Red cable is not a red cable, it's a black cable. It identifies as a black cable because it is providing an earth to the ABS modulator, which is over here. This is a spare modulator I had on the shelf. I've got a feeling this is the one, it's either from my car, it's off my car, L95. So this one's got a leak on the low pressure side of things. So I have earthed that block, plugged in the connector. We're not worrying about the pump or anything like that. We don't need it. Dropped the instrument pod back in. It's just loosely fitted, but the cables are connected on the back. So let's see what we get when we turn ignition on. Oh, right, okay, so we had... Okay. Good. Trailer warning lights on. The trailer warning light is working, which is good. Oh, that's wipers. That's beam. Beam's working. I noticed up here that the ECU, engine ECU warning light just flashed on. ABS light's on. Brake warning light's not on. Sorry, the brake disc warning light's not on, but the brake warning light is on. Now, that is on mainly because we've broken the handbrake warning light switch. I'd imagine that is probably on because fluid's in there. That is connected, so that the kind of, you've got the low fluid warning light, which is actually connected onto the top of the servo master. Now, I think what I do next is I go through and see what error codes we've got on the ECU. Okay, ABS codes. There is a video on this, but I'll just show you how I do this. So find yourself the blue connector, which is near the ABS ECU, which is on this, in this case, underneath the driver's seat. But on a right-hand drive car, it'll be underneath the passenger seat, i.e. in the same location. On the blue connector, you'll see two black wires. There's a black and pink and a black and, can't quite see it, but there's two black wires. And all you do is you get yourself a lump of wire and you bridge those two. And on this, I've got a nice handy switch that allows me to close the circuit and open the circuit. Okay, that's the first thing you need. Next thing you need to do is to identify the ABS diagnostic relay, typically blue. Take it out. Then you need to turn on the ignition and the ABS light will come on. And then we'll open the, sorry, then it goes off. We've got the circuit open at the moment. It comes on. Short on. Now we'll count the codes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 2, 3 is the first code. I'm just going to write that down on my piece of paper here, because I like to keep a record of these. Now, in order to clear this, what you do is you disconnect the wires. In theory, you open the circuit and you wait, and it will flash its way through the sequence a complete second time, or third time, or fourth time. It won't clear the code until you have done this, and eventually the light will just come on and stay on. Like that. That's the code cleared. And then you close the circuit and the light will go off. And then it'll come on for a long time. And then a short time. And then they get the next code. 2. So we've got a 212 to me. I'll close the circuit. Sorry, open the circuit. Brain's not working. So long on. 2. $13, not 12. I'll double check that. And now the ABS light will come on again. So I will close the circuit. Light will go off. Go on for a long blink. Go off. Go on for a short blink. Blip. And then it will count the next code. So it's a 3. Oh, it's right. Okay, what we're going to find here is it's probably got all of the 3s located on it, because it was a 3 dot nothing. So if I now open the circuit, so I've turned the switch, disconnected the cables in effect. It needs to go through the sequence one complete time after you break the cable, and then eventually the ABS light will come on, and that's then cleared that code. Okie doke. Right, so we've done that. Now, close the circuit, connect the cable. That's why I put a red dot on it. And now it might come up as 3-1, in which case it's going to be a very long process, because I'm going to have to clear all of the 3 error codes, all of the 4 error codes, all of the 5 error codes. Yeah, it's a 3-1. So I'm going to have to just sit here flicking this switch, I'm afraid, clearing each one of these codes off. Yeah, it's going to go through every single one of them. So that was 3-2. So none of these codes are going to be any use whatsoever. We're going to need to clear the lots down. So again, connect the cable, close the circuit. As soon as the light's gone off, open the circuit or disconnect the cable, let it blink its way through this. I think there's 12 or 14 codes on the 3 blink circuit, and then we're going to go through the 4 blink circuit, the 5 blink circuit, and probably the 6 blink circuit. So I'm going to get myself a coffee, I think, and we're just going to have to do this and go through each one of these. Circuit closed, as soon as the light goes off, circuit open, leave it to finish it, come back, 12 seconds, and the ABS light will be back on solid again. You can move on to the next code. There's not a lot of point in recording these. I had this before on the 1989 car that's outside the workshop, which also had an ABS bulb missing, and once I cleared all of the codes down, the ABS system started to behave itself. I don't know what causes all the codes to go in. I suspect because the ABS ECU was still connected when there was no modulator, and the modulator wasn't connected, and everything was connected. So the ECU was just picking up every single error code, unfortunately. So I just have to clear them. It's going to be a boring half hour for me. Right, I'm going to get a coffee. You're going to go out of the way. Right, so in the end, it went through every single one of the 2 and 3 codes. But once I got into the 4 codes, and the 5 codes, and the 6 codes, it started looking fairly consistently at 13, 14, and 15 flashes on each of those. And 4 is a wire broken or resistance too high. 5 is sensor has an intermittent fault. And 6 is no output from sensor, or the sensor may have too large an air gap. We don't know how many of these faults are historic. We really don't. Because the problem is the ECU will hang on to every single fault. But what they are suggesting on 13, 14 and 15 is rear left, rear right in each of the cases. So I cleared all of the 2 codes, and the 2 is typically air gap too large, sensor has been forced out by exciter ring. And the 3 codes are typically open circuit in connection from ECU, solenoid valve in booster or in ECU. Well, there was no modulator fitted, was there? So I'd expect all the 3 codes, and then all of the early 4 codes again. But I think what then happened was we moved into what the original historic fault was, which is air gaps were wrong. So I'm going to I think have a look at the air sensors. Sorry, the ABS sensors. If I put my teeth in, I'm going to look at the ABS sensors as I go around. I need to source a decent modulator. This modulator that I've got here is actually out of my car. It's out of L95. It came out a very long time ago, and it's leaking brake fluid out of the back via the bellows that go to the pedal. And that's on the low pressure. That's on the hydrostatic circuit, I know, but it was just leaking, and there's no way am I going to use that without resolving the situation. The other modulators I've got on the shelf are a right-hand drive unit with traction control, which would need to be adjusted to make it compatible with left-hand drive. Probably wouldn't be too much of a problem, actually. And there's another modulator at the back there I can see. Which is What's the... Is there a tag? There is a tag on it. Good. There's a tag. Right, okay, so that's come out of Cliff's car. And the problem with this one was there was no fluid on the power circuit out of this port here, if you remember from the video. So I've got 3 broken modulators. So there's a pump there that's missing a switch. And then there's another pump I dragged off the shelf. These are both P38 pumps. Which might work, might not. We'll see. But that one's got a pressure switch on it. So we're going to need really to get the pressure switch. Oh look, there is a black ball on here. It's down there. Why did I think there wasn't a black ball on this? My brain's going mad, I think. There is nothing connected to it though, which is interesting. Why is there nothing connected to it? Can you see that? Black ball, vacuum ball, should be connected between the engine plenum on this pipe here that then goes through the bulkhead and opens the fresh air flap. And that's something that the customer was saying to me. He couldn't get any heat out of this thing when he drove it down from Leeds on the day that he got dropped off to me. Right, key it out. Let's start sourcing parts for this, I think. Now, because I don't want to rack up another load of error codes, I've pulled the big fuse out of the ABS circuit. So that's the main feed into the circuit that comes from the sock of doom by the battery.